Hi, it's KCCK's Culture Crawl. I'm Dennis Green, and my guests today are from Riverside Theater, Adam Knight, Executive Director, and Kathleen Johnson, who is you have several oncoming titles,
Mm-hmm.
but most importantly for this, you're assistant directing for the upcoming summer show. But before we get started on talking about that, tell me about your journey to Riverside Theater and what you're going to be doing in addition to directing shows.
Yeah, I've been working at Riverside for the last year, but I grew up in Iowa City and have loved Riverside for a long time. I've been their education coordinator and will soon be stepping into working in outreach and development as well.
And you are involved in this production and also directing the Green Show, which
Yes.
is one of the most fun parts of the summer shows at Riverside. But we'll get to that in a little bit. Adam, for those who aren't familiar, although like Kathleen says, most of us have, Riverside's Shakespeare in the Park series is something that has just been a part of our lives forever. But this is your free summer theater series that happens in City Park.
Right. If you've ever been driving down Dubuque Street past the Hancher, sometimes you see this thing that looks like it's from a different century, which is this wooden theater in the middle of Lower City Park. And often people come by and say, "Do they do plays here?" And for those who are around in the summer, the answer is yes. We've been doing plays there for the last 20 plus years. This theater was built as a partnership between the city and Riverside Theater. And ever since 2000, we've been presenting classical productions in there, mostly Shakespeare. Since 2018, those Shakespeare productions have been free to the public, free to all. We are currently doing 3 weeks of performances, Thursdays through Sunday nights. Anyone can walk up and share in this gift of language and live theater and enjoy the Iowa summers together.
I often have this, and this is a question I know the answer to, but I have this discussion when we have the opera on, and people think, "Oh, opera, it's in a different language. I'll never get it. I won't be able to." But there, in the case of the opera, there are super titles, but you also, even if you don't look at the super titles, you can totally follow what's going along. I think that some people get hung up on the language of Shakespeare too, and that is a case where that's the actors not only use the language, but they also can transcend the language and get everything across, even for people who miss some of the words.
Shakespeare's in a different language, and it's in our language. So that's the tricky thing about it. He was actually writing in modern English, but it's early modern English. So that tells you how far modern English has come in the last 4 centuries. We've got fantastic actors, first of all, and it does take a skilled actor to make that leap and to make Shakespeare accessible to an audience. That's a big goal of ours, not only through how we present it, but also through the Green Show to kind of eliminate the stigmas and the kind of intellectual hurdles. But I think part of the joy of Shakespeare is the coming to it. We as performers and as creative artists are coming to it. We're trying to connect to a show that's 400 years old. And as an audience member, I think you have to lean in and realize, okay, this is tricky, but I'm getting it. And realize that the tapestry of our language is embedded within us already. And the joy of Shakespeare for me is connecting to that tapestry and realizing that I know way more than I thought I knew.
The play is Twelfth Night, which is one of Shakespeare's most famous comedies. Again, for those who have to going back to their high school or college, Shakespeare go, okay, Twelfth Night, Twelfth Night, Twelfth Night. Which one is that? Which one is that?
Well, first off, it's a funny one, and not all the comedies are funny. I would say this is one of the 2 comedies that make me laugh out loud every time I see it. This is one of the ones with twins. So there's twins that are separated, and then, spoiler alert, they magically find each other at the end.
Yeah.
But
Something else that Shakespeare invented, I'm pretty sure, was the twins separated at birth subplot.
he stole it from the Romans. Yeah. He stole it from Plautus. But this one, the story is Viola, a young woman, is shipwrecked on the shores of Illyria, and she decides that she has to find her way. And how do you find your way in Shakespearean plays? You dress up like a boy, and decide to work for Duke Orsino. But what makes this play so funny, and then of course chaos and love triangles ensue. What I love about this play is that it takes place in this kingdom where everyone has like these resort problems. It's like the White Lotus. Everyone, the biggest problem that exists on this island before Viola shows up is that the Duke's in love with the Countess and she doesn't love him back. And everyone's sitting around with too much time on their hands, and so they decide to start pulling pranks on each other. And then you have this person, and then when her twin brother arrives later, these two people who arrive with these actual problems, who've undergone actual grief, and their journey of making sense of this topsy-turvy world is part of the fun of the play. And there's a true love triangle that's at the center of this story that's a lot of fun to watch play out.
And it's not just one play, it's actually two. And Kathleen, that's where you come in. We alluded to The Green Show, but this is also this has been a part of Shakespearean tradition for hundreds of years.
Yeah,
is
absolutely.
the show before the show.
Yeah. And for us, The Green Show is really a way of helping to meet the audience where they are and saying, we get that it might be a while. It might have been a while since you were in the classroom. You read Shakespeare. You might have feelings about Shakespeare that aren't great before you come here. And The Green Show is a way to say in 10 minutes, a half an hour before the show at 7 o'clock, we are going to take you through the key bits of information that you need to know. It's often funny. It is always in our modern English. And for this one in particular, it really breaks down those love triangles and the key characters, who they are, how they relate to each other, in a way that helps you go into the show saying, I feel like I have the information that I need to know to really enjoy what I'm watching on stage. You don't have to have watched The Green Show to enjoy the show, to take in everything that happens within the play, but it's a really fun and funny way to kind of dip your toe into it. I'll echo what Adam said. Before this role, I was a teacher. I taught Shakespeare to ninth graders, and you begin it and everyone is like, I don't know what is happening. And every time, a week in, 2 weeks in, students were saying, yeah, stop translating this for me. I get it. I know it already. And I think our audiences are the same way. They get it.
And I would also say that your great space, the Round Theater, is to me, it's always as much a character as the characters and the set of the show, because it really does help you get in that mindset of, yes, this is how people watched the shows originally, because it's, kind of sort of based on the idea of Shakespeare's Globe Theater.
It is.
With more comfortable seats.
It connects the audience to a way of watching theater that we don't often see anymore. And what it really does for Shakespeare is it makes the relationship between the audience and the actors a lot more fluid. When Viola's giving a soliloquy, she's looking at us and talking to us. And in a huge, dark theater, you lose that. On film, it becomes a kind of interior monologue. But that's not what Shakespeare wrote. Shakespeare wanted the audience to be in on the secrets. To me, the closest parallel is kind of like in a reality show when they have those kind of segments where the person's talking to the camera, the kind of confessionals. And that's, to me, what Shakespearean soliloquies are. And they really pop on that stage.
Or The Office.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Just like The Office, only with more ruffles.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. More ruffles, more lace, same love challenges. Mm-hmm.
So what are the dates again?
June 16th through July 2nd in Lower City Park, Thursdays through Sunday nights. The show is totally free. It's a 472-seat theater. Chances are you're going to get a seat. Show up a little early, catch The Green Show at 7 o'clock, 30 minutes before curtain each night. And it's a lot of fun. We have lawn games. We've got concessions. If you've got little kids and you're not sure if they can make it through the whole show, show up for the first half. And if they're digging it, stay. And if they're tired, you can go. I love that it is accessible in a way that I think takes that kind of pressure away from attending.
So you did mention that there'll be concessions. I mean, can people come early and bring their own picnic? And
they can certainly bring their own picnic. We have Oasis street food. We have adult beverages. We've got ice cream. We've got sodas. And so,
don't feel like you have to.
Don't feel like you have to. But there's nothing. What's better than drinking a glass of rosé and listening to Shakespeare under a beautiful Iowa sky?
It's Twelfth Night, opening the 16th of June, but just for 3 weeks. So, make sure and get that on the calendar. If we've come at people with a bunch of information, but if they want more, they can, of course, visit your website, which is
www.riversidetheater.org. And I should say that Free Shakespeare is our gift to the community, but it's made possible through our sponsors. And
nothing
through
happens without sponsors.
Through people's gifts to us. The lead sponsor on this production is I'm On Communications. We have a lot of great community individuals and businesses sponsoring this programming, and we're so grateful to them.
Again, it's Twelfth Night at Become Early for the Green Show and the Rose, and not to mention the Rosé also. Opening June 16th at Lower City Park. Adam, Kathleen, this is one of my favorite summer traditions in Iowa, so I'm always excited when that time rolls around. Good luck with it.
Awesome. See you in the park.
Yeah, thanks so much for coming. You can hear the Culture Crawl live on the radio many weekdays at 10:30 or download the podcast at kcck.org/culture or using your favorite podcast player. I'm Dennis Green, and I'll talk to you later.